right, welcome everybody to our budget hearing right here in Laveen. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we got a big announcement, but on behalf of our mayor and our councilwoman, Felicita Mendoza from District 8, I'm going to pass the mic on to our mayor to do the big introduction right now. Hold on.
Hello, I'm Kate Gallego. Today is 4 weeks since I was elected mayor of Phoenix. So I think exciting for the Laveen budget hearing that this is the first time we've had a mayor and 2 council people living in this general area, and I think and it is exciting to be back, and we have a special announcement. This is something that Councilman Nowakowski and, well, I have worked on my entire 5 years on the city council. Congressman Gallego got involved. I don't even want to know how long Councilman Nowakowski's been working on it. But we came to this budget meeting several years ago and heard a lot about the need for certain amenities in the Laveen area, particularly family-friendly ones. And we have a very special announcement to start out tonight. And we have a guest to make that announcement. So please welcome Don Harkins of Harkins Theaters. This is so exciting.
Thank you. Thank you. Ready to go? Ladies and gentlemen and moviegoers, this is a big secret. It's so secret that nobody in my company even knows except for about 6 of us. But we are here to announce a brand new Harkins luxury megaplex here in Laveen at 59th Avenue and at 202. Yes. And so I feel like a father who just announced to his best friends and relatives that we're about to give birth to a baby. I mean, this is how it feels to me, because we're your homegrown local theater chain. My dad started our company in Tempe in 1933, and we've been entertaining family and friends ever since. In fact, I went to grade school with this guy right here, Tripkin, yeah. Former councilman, Craig Tripkin. He was shortstop, and I was third base in Little League in the 5th grade. So he can testify. I've been around for a long time. And we are just, we're just glad we're here. We had to work a long time. We've been working on this for 10 years, thanks to Mike Bowers, and thanks to the mayor who really fought for us. Thank you. She goes to bat for Laveen all the time. So this is a Harkins luxury megaplex, and we don't build the same theater every time. It's an evolution with us. So this is going to be the very best of the best. It's going to feature the luxury lounger that's electric, and you can slide back, and if the movie's boring, you can take a nap, but we don't recommend you doing that. It's always going to be fun. Of course, we have state-of-the-art popcorn, and this theater is going to have a bigger kitchen than any of our other theaters, so it's going to feature all of our gourmet foods like, egg bites, flatbreads, hamburgers, charcuterie plates, and it goes on from there. I know, I'm getting hungry. Are we going to have a bar, Mr. Bowers? We're going to have a bar? Yep, beer, wine, whatever you want. And just everything from A to Z, from box office to the screen, is all state-of-the-art. We're going to feature one big auditorium. As many of you know, there's a tradition we have in our chain called the Cine Capri and the Cine One, which is one big auditorium and a megaplex. This is going to feature the Cine One. It's going to have laser projection. And it's going to have, the big screen, Dolby Atmos sound, which is approaching 60 channels of sound that will immerse you and make it all so real that when you're watching something like Jurassic Park, I think it's real. I get scared. I don't know about you. So we're very excited to be here. As a 3rd-generation native and your homegrown theater chain, I'm very proud to make this announcement. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you so much. Thank you, the City Council. Yes. And thank you for the Kitchell and Mike Bowers. Thank you, everybody. Now, I understand it's a tradition here, correct? Cowbell. Yeah, to do the cowbell. So we have brought out cowbells for you all. Everybody's going to get a Harkins cow. Oh, you brought your own? Okay, we're going to bring out some more. And everybody's going to get a popcorn to celebrate this moment. So please come to the grand opening, which is going to be a ways off. We're going to break ground soon. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Levine. Thank you.
All right, good evening. Well, we've never seen anything like that before, but this is great for our budget hearing in Levine. Popcorn, cowbells, and Harkins. It's fantastic. All right, my name's Ed Zerker. I'm the city manager. It's great to be here with you in Levine for our budget hearing. This is, I think, the 10th or 11th out of 20 budget hearings, and it's the one that we have here in Levine. So thank you for being here with us. I want to thank you for joining us tonight. I want to thank our city employees who are here. They didn't know when they drew this hearing that they were going to get popcorn along with it, but it's an added bonus. It's also important, I'm always impressed when we come to Levine, how many city employees live in Levine. So we have a lot of people here who are doing double duty. They are residents and they're employees of the city working for you and for the residents of Levine. So thank you. We're here to talk about the city's budget. You can't hear? I got to have a loud voice like Councilman Nowakowski. I got it now. Okay. All right. So we thank you for being here. Thank our city employees. We are here to talk about the budget. We have information for you. If you got a tabloid, but when you came in, that'll give you some detail on this. I also want to ask our Spanish language interpreter, if you'll introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Sandra, and I have some headsets over here for anybody that speaks Spanish. Soy Sandra, y tenemos audífonos acá para personas que quieren o escuchar la información.
Thank you. So we want to talk to you about our city budget. We have information. We have information online. We have a video we'll show you, and then we turn it over to you to listen to the things you have to tell us. This is a good budget year for the city of Phoenix. A lot of the work the council has done to solidify our economy. The growth that we see has put us on sound footing. And so we're proposing this year to put the growth in our budget to a couple places. One is to our employees who have taken concessions over the last 10 years and restoring some pay for our employees who've worked hard and continue to work hard. And to put some programs in place that we've heard repeatedly that are important, that have to do with libraries and public safety and those sort of things. So we want to hear what your response is to that, your thoughts on that, the things that are important to you and your priorities. We take this information and we come back with a final budget for the council in May and June. I want to thank Councilman Nowakowski and Councilwoman Mendoza for hosting the meeting. If you would like to speak, we'd ask you fill out a card. We have about 20 cards so far. We'll ask you to speak here from the podium so that everybody can see and hear, but also so that our Channel 11 Phoenix TV folks can capture that. And then it's posted on YouTube for people who aren't able to be here to see. We have 2 other council hearings, budget hearings going on tonight, so we have council members all over the place, but they're able to see what's going on by looking at the Phoenix TV, and you can do the same. So with that, we'll go straight to the video, and then we'll come back and take your comments. So thank you again for being here.
Welcome to your first look at the City of Phoenix trial budget for 2019-20, proposed by the city manager for public review and comment. The city budget is about people and programs for a stronger Phoenix. Every year, the city prepares a trial budget. This process gives you, our residents, an opportunity to share your priorities and feedback on how tax dollars are spent. 3 important points about this year's budget. It is balanced, which is required by law, and there is a surplus to allocate toward people and programs. Also, for the first time since the recession, ongoing revenues are equal to ongoing costs. We have a nearly $1.4 billion structurally balanced general fund budget thanks to Phoenix's continued strong economy and sound leadership by the mayor and city council. These efforts have led to a projected surplus of $55 million, of which $35 million is in ongoing resources and $20 million is in one-time resources. Over the next several minutes, we'll provide you a high-level view of the recommendations for how that surplus could be spent. Approximately 70% of the surplus is proposed for employee compensation, and the remaining 30% is proposed for services. And $5.5 million to continue investing in the Public Safety Pension Reserve Trust Fund to protect against unexpected downturns in investments. The 2019-20 trial budget continues to provide the core services residents expect. Chief among these is public safety. In addition, many recommendations are focused on improving neighborhoods, parks, libraries, support for outreach and services for people experiencing homelessness, additional street landscape maintenance, and preparations for the 2020 census. The city also continues to invest in maintaining the facilities you depend on and the fleet of vehicles that provide you everything from police response to street cleanups. Besides these proposals, we'll highlight expenditures that help the city address growth in construction and maintain the city's wastewater infrastructure. First, general fund recommendations. The general fund is made up of several different sources of revenue, including sales taxes, state shared revenue, and property taxes. 3/4 of the general fund pays for police, fire, and courts, with a smaller portion, the remaining 25%, going for everything else, like libraries, parks, senior services, arts, and administrative and support functions. Primary focus of the general fund service additions is public safety across a wide array of departments. Here are some of the proposals. 8 new firefighter positions to provide 24-hour operations at Fire Station 55 at I-17 and Jomax Road in North Phoenix. Add funding for 7 sworn fire positions, creating a new ambulance rescue unit at Fire Station 58 to improve emergency response times in Southwest Phoenix. The creation of 1 new fire department crisis intervention unit, and in the police department, de-escalation training and community response services support for officer-involved shootings. These recommendations are based on public feedback from last year's budget process and the city's Traumatic Incident Intervention Resources Ad Hoc Committee. Another key area of public safety funding is focused on improving police support processes, using civilian staff to free up police officers' valuable time for calls and service. First, the addition of 10 civilian positions to support a federally mandated transition to the FBI's Uniform Crime Reporting National Incident-Based Reporting System. And second, the addition of 13 positions to streamline police booking procedures and create 2 new centralized booking centers to get officers back on the street faster. The trial budget also provides funding for increased inspection capacity to ensure buildings are meeting fire safety codes. Other public safety allocations: public defender representation for veterans and individuals with mental illness. In human services, add a caseworker and a vehicle to provide mobile victim advocacy. Security guard staffing at every library. Technology funding for cybersecurity to protect the city's infrastructure. In all, the trial budget proposes spending an additional $6.5 million on these and other public safety additions. Now, let's look at where you live, investments in programs to strengthen neighborhoods. First, the budget would allocate approximately $1 million to add staff to work with neighborhood groups, to clean up blight, work with nearby businesses, and improve response times for neighborhood issues. Parks and Recreation would see 8 new park ranger positions to increase patrol coverage at neighborhood and urban parks for a cost of about $1.1 million. Street Transportation and Public Works would support neighborhoods by transitioning staff from a temporary to permanent status to clean up encampments and washes and right-of-way for a cost of $970,000. Historic Preservation would also get $75,000 to support historic property preservation. In all, neighborhood revitalization would see an additional $3.5 million in funding. Next, Community Services additions restore some desired programs to strengthen the community and expand other resident requests, including restoration of Sunday library hours at 4 branches means all libraries will be open to provide greater access to in-demand books, movies, classes, and programs for library patrons of all ages. Expand the Phoenix Teens program for youth at 10 city sites, providing youth programs 6 days per week at a cost of $448,000. Providing case management assistance for homeless seniors and grant funding for arts organizations for youth and underserved communities would also be included. The budget would also add $1.3 million for long-standing street landscape maintenance needs, increasing frequency of maintenance from 3 to 4 times per year. New this year, a proposal to allocate funding to implement participatory budgeting or other projects in City Council districts. Lastly, the city will invest in outreach to encourage residents to take part in the 2020 census. Given the move to digital form submission this census, the additional funds will help to ensure hard-to-count and hard-to-reach populations participate, so that Phoenix gets its fair share of the approximately $866 million in annual revenues allocated through federal programs for public safety, transportation, housing, and human services. Overall, added general fund expenditures outlined in the trial budget total $55.2 million and would add 131 positions to strengthen our people, programs, services, and infrastructure. Moving on to propose non-general fund additions for a variety of services. Strengthening our street transportation department with 11 positions added or converted to full-time for a variety of services to support increasing work in the right-of-way and the recently expanded street maintenance funding in the Capital Improvement Program budget, $768,000. Water Services will see 21 positions and approximately $2.9 million in funding to keep up with demand at the department's 91st Avenue treatment site, the state's largest. The site is currently treating 180 million gallons of water a day for more than 2.5 million residents in 5 cities. Finally, 19 positions for planning and development to address increasing construction demand, including reduction of turnaround times for pre-application submittals and complex commercial architectural plans. Added staff to ensure adherence to fire system requirements and ADA accessibility codes, and to maintain a 24-hour turnaround time for residential inspections. Thank you for taking the time to learn more about the 2019-20 trial budget. We hope that you'll review additional details in the budget pamphlet available at one of our 19 community budget hearings and online at phoenix.gov/budget. Please share your feedback in whatever way works best for you, at a public meeting or via email at budget.research@phoenix.gov. You can comment on the city's social media at CityofPhoenixAZ on Facebook or Twitter and use #PhoenixBudget, or call us at 602-262-4800. Thank you for being part of this important process.
All righty, well, thank you everyone for coming out. It's a big surprise that we had out here, and we have many, many more surprises, and I really want to thank the community out here. It's because of our efforts coming together as one community, asking for all those amenities that we need out here in the Levine area, that we're starting to get them. So we finally got a movie theater. Now we're banking on a hospital and a mall and some good restaurants to take our families and all kinds of things out here. So it's really the advocacy of you all in this room that make it all possible. So thank you all, and I don't think you want to hear us talk too much, so we're here to listen to you all. So Felicito will be reading off the names.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. Our first speaker is Mrs. Jennifer Rouse.
Okay, so I have 2 minutes or 3 minutes? Because I'll try to talk. 2? Okay, I'm going to try to talk really fast. First of all, Councilwoman Mendoza, thank you so much for taking the lead and getting the community active in pushing for that full-time ambulance. For as long as we can, we're very proud to call you one of our council people. Thank you too to Councilman Nowakowski for that announcement tonight, and to Mayor Gallego. I'm excited about Harkins. I'm very excited as a parent. I do hope that they offer movies for our special needs children that are on the autism spectrum or have very sensitive ears. Okay, so I'm going to try and make this really fast. Thank you for the community center. Of course, we're going to ask for more. I would like to see funding for programs for our children with special needs, to include them throughout their lives as well, funding for programs through their teen years and when they hit the adult age, for our seniors, for our children when they just programs for all ages. It needs to be multi-generational and multi-ability, like serve everyone. Thank you for the park rangers. Thank you for the, again, full-time ambulance in Levine. Please fund the human services campuses. I know that Mr. Tripkin is here from CAS, so I'm sure he'll speak more on that. Again, I support the light rail. Please fund outreach to the community so they're more aware of changes coming with the development of the light rail. Library. So every library, every day. I also want to point out that we have people here from the Estrella Village. They don't have a library out there. And it was brought to our attention. Thank you very much. Lisa brought that up last night. I forgot to. Please budget to build and maintain our neighborhood parks. I think we have 3 or 4 within the Levine Village. I know that of at least one in Country Place out in Estrella Village that it's still a dirt lot. Please fund. I believe the money is there to build it. Please fund to maintain it. This is a place where our children can go play and where those awesome team mobile units can go to. I support the police. I ask that you do everything that you can. I don't know when the vote will come up, but when it does, please support that they get paid a fair share, that they have the benefits they deserve. The same goes for the firefighters. I don't think that many people understand just how stressful that job is, and I believe that public service is a calling. We do not appreciate them enough, and I hope that more of my fellow Block Watch leaders do go outside your comfort zone and speak up for them, because you don't know what burden they carry. You don't hear in the news that maybe one got stabbed or one got punched and they're having headaches. Please, when you can, say thank you to our officers. We need more of them. 3125 is not enough. And then, again, for special needs, I'm sure that there are a few parents here that will speak much more about this, so I'm going to call, I'm just going to say, you're going to see a lot of these signs tonight, so please think about our children and our funding as well. So it says, my name is, I didn't add my son's picture to it, but I would love to be included in your plans. Please do not forget about us. So thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Craig Tripkin.
Can you hear me? No? How are we doing? Test. Testing, are we good? No, we're not good. We're not good? Are we good now? Oh, boy. Okay. You ready? My name is Craig Tripkin. I'm with Central Arizona Shelter Services, and I want to thank you, Councilwoman Mendoza and Councilman Nowakowski and Mr. City Manager. Thank you very much. I'm here to speak about Central Arizona Shelter Services and homelessness. Number one, CAS, who the city is very generous with, we have done our part this last year. We have increased our fundraising by 78% this year, which is $500,000, which is a significant portion of what the city gives to us. We've increased our regional support from other cities, which I think is very important to this council, by 53% this year. We've had a number of accomplishments, and I won't bore you by running through them, but we've gotten a grant for 2 senior West Side navigators. We've acquired a building on the west side in Glendale, so we can help to regionalize this problem and not have it localized and paid for just by the city of Phoenix. Well, I'll leave it at that. We've got increased financial burdens that we cannot control. United Way is cutting us back $236,000. General salaries and benefits are up by 8% this year, and that's going to equal $110,000. We can't do anything about that. That's health insurance, except for cut people's health insurance, and I don't think that would be supportable. And lastly, the Human Services Campus is looking at assessing us a facilities charge, a rent and common area maintenance charges, and that is going to be at least $200,000 above what we're paying today. So that comes out to $546,000. We've got a number of plans for next year, including opening the Glendale building. We're calling it the Ramsey Norton Success Center, donated by those two individuals. We're going to do up to 10 beds for chronic medical problems with people who are chronic but aren't hospital bound, aren't ready for are out of the hospital, and whose whose medical needs are not critical enough for Circle the City. So we're going to have a medical intensive area, or with intensive isn't the right word, but that's what we're going to have. And that's going to be also for hospital releases, which I think is an increasing problem in this community. We're going to co-locate behavioral health. I'll stop right there. You can read about the rest of the things we're going to do. What we're asking for, and it's really two specific things. But number one, we'd like the city to help us with half the uncontrollable deficit which we are facing, and that's $258,000. Number two, we will raise the other half privately. We are doing our part, and I really want to emphasize that. We're going to continue to. And number three, which is a pretty important point, it may be a little bit in the weeds, but I think it's important to address. We are on a very strict cost reimbursement system with our current city contract. We have a caseworker. That caseworker works 80 hours, we get 80 hours of reimbursement. That does not allow us to do things like expand into creative and innovative areas. There's no flexibility for us to, for example, provide the medical beds. In those medical beds that I mentioned, we're going to have to redo bathrooms, make them accessible, improve those bathrooms, build new bathrooms in all likelihood. The city contract will not allow for that, and we need to have some flexibility and some new language in our contract that's going to help us have that flexibility. And that's what I've got. Thank you very much for your attention.
You know, before Greg leaves, Mr. Tripkin has been a council member for 2 terms, right? Yes. And he's a real servant leader, helping out in the community, especially the homeless community. And today is actually his birthday. He's 66 years old, and they're waiting for him to go eat. But he thought this was important enough that he had to put his birthday party to his side, and they're kind of upset with him, but he wanted to be here, so, you know, thank you. And let's sing him happy birthday real quick. No. Yeah, ready? Let's embarrass him. Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Let's see if you can turn red. Happy birthday, dear Craig. Happy birthday to you. All righty. Thank you, council member. First time for everything, right?
Mr. Mark Ibarra. I'm sorry.
Hello, good evening. I am not Mark Ibarra. Mark Ibarra is my neighbor. My name is Gabriela Saavedra, and I am representing the Garfield Organization, a neighborhood alliance formed by other Garfield residents such as myself with the sole interest of fostering a stronger sense of community to create a safer, more beautiful, and a more connected neighborhood. For those of you that are unfamiliar with Garfield, we are a historic neighborhood in the heart of downtown Phoenix. Our boundaries are 7th Street to 16th Street and Van Buren to the I-10. We are a wonderful neighborhood with small businesses, a vibrant art scene, and a strong sense of community. Our community has come together to solve a problem that has been a frequent topic in our monthly Garfield meetings. And if you've ever been to one of our meetings, then you know that we get really passionate about this project, and it's something that we've been working towards for more than a decade. In 2008, the City of Phoenix commissioned a preliminary roadway and drainage analysis for 13th Street from Moreland to Van Buren to improve drainage conditions. The intent was to develop alternatives for the installation of curbs, gutters, and asphalt along 13th Street. 11 years later, nothing has changed. This is a big deal in our community. When it rains, 13th Street and its cross streets become flooded with water pools. The water floods sidewalks and residents' front yards, as you can see in the pictures. After it rains, before it dries out, there is standing murky water with mold and debris. When the rainwater dries, most of 13th Street is filled with dust. Now, Garfield Elementary School is located on the corner of 13th Street and Roosevelt and has its main entrance along 13th Street. All children attending Garfield Elementary walk daily through clouds of dust, or when it rains, water pools, mold, and debris. So if you see the pictures, you can see that that is the entrance of Garfield Elementary School. So when it's dry, there's dust and kids have to walk through the dust, but when it rains, the water doesn't go away because we don't have gutters for it to drain. So the kids have to walk around puddles that are usually filled with trash and mold and debris. What we're asking for is for the final design be added into next year's capital improvement program and to allocate funds for paving and adding curbs and gutters to 13th Street. We're also asking for a left turn signal on Roosevelt and 7th Street to make it easier and safer to turn into our neighborhood. Our community has been dealing with this for so long. We've been asking for a solution for 11 years, and we want our neighborhood to be a safe and beautiful community for our residents and their children. As a community, we have taken it upon ourselves to attend as many of these budget meetings as we can. We love our neighborhood, and we love our neighbors. It's vibrant, beautiful, diverse, and community-focused. We are so grateful for this opportunity to ask for these changes to be made, and we're really grateful for all the encouragement and support we've received from the city. Thank you, Councilman and Councilwoman, City Manager. Thank you so much.
Kenny Preble.
Hi, everybody. For one, I believe I marked no on the card, but that's okay. I'll come talk to you guys anyways. I am here in support of the disc golf course being brought to Cesar Chavez Park. There we go. A lot of the people in the community believe that it would be a good opportunity to bring foot traffic from other parts of Phoenix into the area, as well as community events bringing in things like food trucks or other things, and other sources of revenue into the Levine area. It is low maintenance. You put some of the goals up, and you just kind of let it be. It's free to play. A good opportunity to get outside, spend some time with friends, and just a good opportunity to bring healthy activity to the park. Cool. Thank you, guys.
Alan Manca. Okay, thank you. Franco Hernandez. He said yes. Mm-hmm. Well, here. This is a no.
Hello? All right. First, I want to shout out that Garfield crew for bringing in those pictures. That was pretty dope. Good job in repping your neighborhood. Firstly, I think we should invest in getting the residents out here. I look around a lot, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people have connections to the city, so we need to invest in getting residents and the community out to these meetings. we need to invest in community programs and real development that benefits the community, not just the developers. We don't need any more Dunkin' Donuts or storage units here on the south side, especially down Baseline. You know, I took a drive down Baseline Saturday, and I remember, I'm only 34 years old, but I remember the orchards and Japanese gardens, and there's none left. That's why, and a lot of those developments do not benefit the community directly. Also, we actually need to divest in the police. And what I mean by that is we need to invest in public health and safety that focuses on finding solutions to the cause and not just treat the symptoms. Because we expect the police to do too much. We expect the police to carry our groceries to our car, protect us, to come at every whim, and they do not have that time to respond adequately to our calls and our emergencies. And instead, my quiet neighborhood becomes interrupted when there's a helicopter because somebody stole something from Circle K for monitoring. I don't know how much that costs to send a helicopter out every single night, but we do not need that. I do not need a helicopter giving me PTSD in the middle of the night for somebody stealing a Snickers bar. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you. I'm going to call 2 people at a time so we can speed up the process. Michelle Campuzano and Raul Daniels.
Why do I have to follow him? No, I'm just kidding. My name is Michelle Campuzano, and I am here to ask that those with special needs be included in our decision making. And if you can entertain the teacher and me for just a minute, I want to ask you guys to do an activity with me. I want everyone in here to just close their eyes for just a quick second and imagine that you're at Disneyland or your favorite theme park. And imagine the sounds and the lights and the laughter and the time you're having with your family, the smell of cotton candy or popcorn or whatever it may be. And now keep your eyes closed, everyone. If you have special needs or you have family you love with special needs, can you stand up and everyone keep their eyes closed? So if you, okay. Now everyone open your eyes. Now imagine those activities with all of us watching from the outside. Imagine those activities in our community, not a theme park, that our kids can't access. Because not only do I live in this community, I have passionately served this community for 10 years, and my son still isn't included. And as an educator, I couldn't afford an accessible house, so we make it work. And as a single mom, I can't afford an accessible vehicle. So to get here tonight, I lifted 90 pounds over my shoulder. I put him in the car. I packed up his wheelchair, and I did it again, and I get to do it 2 more times before we get home. And in addition to that, my son went to Chavez that couldn't meet his needs. So now he's bused away from his peers to another school, his last year of high school. So even though I work in this community, it still can't meet the needs of those with special needs. It's not inclusive, it's not accommodating. And in addition to all of that, he's going to be in an adult system, and there is not one in Laveen or South Phoenix, because the only one we have, you have to be able to walk on and off a bus, which my hero can't do, and you have to be high functioning, which he is not. And I would just ask that we think of those factors when we're making our decision, not just for them, not just for us watching them from the sidelines, but for all of us, because these kids are pure, they're full of love, and it is my belief that if God wanted to heal them, he could. So if he doesn't, it's because he knows the world needs their sunshine here. And so I would ask that we start thinking about ways to include them for us and for them, and for our community. Thank you.
Raul Daniels, followed by Linda Cannon.
Either I'm old and can't hear too good over here on this side. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Thank you. My name's Raul Daniels, I'm a parent of a 16-year-old special needs daughter. First, I want to thank you, Councilman Alkowski and Mayor Gallegos, I guess she's not here at the moment, for supporting us to finally get this community center built in, what, 3 years from now? So that gives us some time to get some resources together to serve our special needs kids. My daughter's not invited to any parties. She's 16, by the way. She's never invited to any activities. She lives in complete isolation most of the time. So anywhere she does go is if we take her, and it's usually not fit for her needs, wherever we go. Picture yourself changing a 16-year-old daughter, me, the dad, 115-degree weather in a van in the back of a shopping center or a mall or a theater because they don't have a proper place to change her. It's 115 degrees out. Picture going to rec centers, we have none in Levine right at the moment, or other places that offer no service to your children. High schools have tried the best they can, but they don't provide any service after school either. What we need is a bona fide comprehensive community center program here that also will provide service to our special needs kids. I didn't know this, but we just got data from both Phoenix Junior High School District and the Levine Elementary School District. And I want to thank the Special Ed Director for being here, Todd, and thank you for supporting us. There's 1,114 special needs kids in Levine Elementary School District. 1,114 kids. That's 1,114 kids, just elementary school kids. There's another roughly 500 high school kids that attend this high school and Fairfax. That's almost 2,000 school-age special needs kids that are not serviced. Most of us have to drive our kids 25 to 30 miles away to receive any type of services, speech therapy, occupational therapy, those type of therapies that you need just to learn how to walk and talk, etc., because there's none here in this area. If you're about to build a $10 million facility, partner with some nonprofit agencies out there and provide them the building, the space to provide those services so we can all be serviced right here in one place. We need funding with staff that know how to serve these kids. A full-time recreation therapist with related part-time staff and related supplies. Now, it's been 10 years since I worked in Parks and Rec. That's probably about $250,000 budget or higher by now. You have to ask them. But I know Esther and them, you know what the cost would be now. But you've got 3 years to build that funding in place. Second of all, we need some short-term services right now. You've got 2 high schools here and several elementary schools. Create a partnership with them to provide some limited services, even as 1 day a week. Todd, thank you, Levine, because about 3 years ago when my daughter was over there, the Parks and Rec Department provided a staff person, they provided the building, and 1 day a week our kids participated in that program for about 3 years. The first year there was 7 kids. The second year there was over 30. Okay, and that was at elementary school. One thing you also have to remember, you saw how many of us showed up tonight. Many of us can't get here because we have kids at home that have to be washed, fed, and everything else because they can't do it on their own. Please do not forget our kids. We vote for you. We provide our vote for supporting other services, Parks and Rec, police, fire. We provide support for candidates running for various offices. We support school bonds to provide more schools. Now it's your turn to provide services for us. And all you out there who don't have special needs folks, one day you will be, because you all get old. We all get old. We all become a special need individual. Remember the old saying, whatever you do to the least of my brothers, that I will do unto you. Whatever you do to the least of my brothers, that I will do unto you. Thank you.
Thank you. Linda Cannon, followed by Lisa Perez. Lisa Perez, you'll be next.
I'm going to say what someone else said earlier. I don't want to follow that. That was excellent. Thank you, wherever you went. My name is Linda Cannon, and I'm here representing the Friends of the Cesar Chavez Library and the Friends of the Harmon Branch Library. The Harmon Branch Library is at 5th Avenue and Buckeye Road. First, I want to thank the mayor, council members, the folks, city manager who put together the budget for what is included in this budget. We are very appreciative of continuing to move towards our goal And by having the libraries, the 4 that didn't have Sunday hours, now will have Sunday hours, and that's exceptional. Thank you. But I'll just remind you, here it is, every library, every day. And that really is our mantra, to get back to where we were 10 years ago with the libraries, and that is being open full time. And when you think about a community like the Levine community, by the way, we're just thrilled that we will have a community center and many of the other things you mentioned. There are not a lot of options right now for kids, teens, kids, even adults who need a place for socialization and learning. The library represents one of those, and I'll leave you a list of the programs that the Friends provided funding for. And our job as Friends is to advocate for the library and to raise money for library programs. And between the Friends at Cesar Chavez and the Friends at Harmon, $10,000 was raised last year for programs, and $1,000 at Harmon, at the Harmon branch, was raised, and that money goes directly to programs. But I have to say, us raising that money through the sale of books and community events would really be pointless if it wasn't for the excellent library staff. And I can say at both libraries, both at Chavez and at Harmon, the staff are creative, they're attentive to the customers, they are, and Harmon in particular has built their programming around partnerships in the community, and they have wonderful community events and programs there. So again, I'll just ask we keep moving toward every library every single day, because it's an option and a positive option for learning experiences for the community, all ages in the Levine community. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Lisa Perez, followed by Gabriela Saavedra.
Good evening. My name is Lisa Perez, and I reside over in the Estrella Village, which is the next village over. That was great. Man, I just lost my train of thought. Okay. This is my second budget hearing. We had one over at Estrella Village, and I started out by saying I am the chair of the Estrella Village Planning Committee. I am the president of an elementary PTO. I am the lead for my newly launched Block Watch, and I serve on the executive committee of the Phoenix Community Alliance, which is a downtown business organization. The only reason I bring that up is because, like many of you, I look at this budget from a lens from many different perspectives. It is important for us to look at it as a mom, as a neighbor, as a business person, as a community leader, and I actually support this budget. I was very excited, obviously, for anything that we do for our fire and police. The staffing of Station 55, even though it's way far north, very excited that they're getting those services because they need it. Very excited about the body cam program, not only for the safety of our officers, but for the safety of our residents, so we know what's happening on some of these calls. Besides police and fire, I always believe that NSD, and I think Spencer is still here, NSD and Street Transportation Department are the two most important departments, because those are the ones we like to yell at. There are potholes, there are blight, there are everything else, that they're the two neighborhood departments that we get to yell at the most. And so I do appreciate all the work that they do and all this input that we give them. And again, anytime the city can support funding, that is very important. As Jennifer mentioned, the closest library to Estrella Village is actually Desert Sage at 75th Avenue in Encanto. So increasing those hours is very important to our community. Our next closest library is here at Cesar Chavez. And the nerdy person of me, I'm excited about the increase in staff for planning and development. It's very important, as Levine experiences as well as Estrella. We are very fast growing, and it is happening at a pace that is almost hard to keep up with. It is important, though. We want those services. I look at Levine as like my little more organized older sister. She gets more stuff than I do, but at some point I'll be fine and a little bit caught up with what they're doing here. But we are here to support them, especially they're getting their new ambulance. Very excited for that, for this community. So we are here to support you. Now, I can stand up here and complain about the things that we don't get in Estrella, which is a lot. And as I told Councilman Nowakowski last year, I did ask him for a couple of things. One of the things is I asked him in his last term in office is to take a look at that regional park. And for those of you that don't know about it, there is a beautiful swath of land at 99th Avenue in Lower Buckeye that was slated about 15 years ago to be a regional park. Kind of like Cesar Chavez, kind of like Desert West. And because of funding, and there's no money, and we all know that. But the conversation that I've asked Councilman Nowakowski is, can we have a conversation? What else can we do? Are there grants? Can we partner? Can we take what they're doing with Hance Park and use that as a model? Or do we give up? And I say we don't give up. It's an important piece of property, and I think we need to use it to our advantage. So I've asked Councilman Nowakowski to maybe have those conversations. I'd also like to finish off by asking Councilwoman Mendoza in her last month of office and Councilman Nowakowski continue working together and all the great things that they've done for your community, which of course Estrella gets to benefit from. We don't get a movie theater, but we'll share it. It's not that far away. And then one other thing I want to ask the city is, and I know it's not you, it's more political, and for those of you that know that we have an initiative that's possibly going to be on the ballot, and it's going to be to kill light rail. In my area, the light rail that was going to go down I-10 was literally one of the only things that we had to vote for on Prop 104. We serve as a Southwest employment center in that area. It is critical for us to have more mobility in that area, and killing light rail in our area and Maryvale would be detrimental. I don't know what the backup plan is. I don't know if that's more rapid bus. I don't know if that's all of us just voting no, however you feel about light rail. But it is something important, and it is a major piece of infrastructure in our area that we really need to pay attention to. And then lastly, besides thanking all the city staff for having a balanced budget and all the hard work that you do, we really appreciate you, and I've had the privilege of working with a lot of you. I'd like to thank Councilman Nowakowski and Councilwoman Mendoza, and I'd like to just thank all of you. By the sheer numbers, you show how much you care about our community, so thank you.
Gabriela Saavedra, followed by Robert Branscombe. Oh, you did? Okay. Okay, thank you. Robert, you're up. And then followed by Jason Boyd.
As Robert is walking up, he's actually our commissioner for the Levine village out here.
Good evening, Councilwoman Mendoza, Councilman Nowakowski, and City Manager Zucker. Again, my name is Robert Branscombe, and I am the chairman for the Levine Planning Commission here in Levine. I have some other members of my committee who are here. Would you please stand up and be recognized? Our committee has the task to review all the plans for developers who will want to come and develop and build in Levine. We have a job that is very tough and difficult because we try to represent the community, and we love to hear from the community because that's who we support. But I also like to thank our city councilwoman Mendoza and Councilman Nowakowski because we recommend to them, and they listen very carefully for our recommendations, and they support us. And I want to thank you for that right now. I'm also glad that the budget was approved, I believe, 6 months ago for our new community center that we're now planning for. That's going to be in Cesar Chavez. It's great to know that we have a theater coming out here, but we also want to make sure that we have the amenities that the community needs. And so at the beginning of in the beginning of every meeting that we have a forum that the community can come out and say what they want and kind of give us ideas. One time, not too long ago, I think back in December, we had a group come who had some concerns about 39th Avenue and Southern because unfortunately some people had died and been hit in that corner. And they came passionately asking us to help. And so we took that message over to the councilman and the councilwoman, and they reacted tremendously. And so now that we hear that we're going to have a light there full-time coming soon, and they're working with the county to make sure that the county takes care of their part of the bargain over there and make that happen, and we thank them for that. So I want to encourage you all to come to our meetings and at least voice what you like in the community. One thing that we do hear a lot, and I would like to say it to the council men and women, is that we need more affordable housing out here, and we need to make sure it's diversified in the housing to stay with the character of Laveen. Everyone I talk to and the people who talk to our committee members, that's one of the strong points that they said Laveen wants to stay unique. We know that the city has grown out to Laveen. It's not that little small town outside of the city limits. But you're out here now and we need those amenities, but we still want to keep that rural character. And we just ask that you continue to support us as we try to do that as we work with the developers. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Robert. Jason Boyd, followed by Jacob.
If it's helpful to speed things up, we just have some materials with some resources, and we have more copies. If anyone else would like to know, this is the disc golf that was referenced earlier. So we actually got the message out via Facebook page like a couple days ago, and it was so effective that we got like several people here on this. Let me be very brief and to the point. This is a very specific thing that we're here to talk about. Disc golf, by the way, it's just a sport that is low maintenance, free to play. You buy a $7 Frisbee, essentially. It's a Frisbee. There are baskets with chains on them that you try to throw the Frisbee into from various points in the park. So the cost, and we have it outlined here, which actually, if necessary, we could find private sources for the cost, but all in, we're talking less than $10,000 to have an 18-hole premier world-class Frisbee golf course, disc golf course at the Cesar Chavez Park. There's a Facebook page up there. Like I said, I have materials. But let me just quickly highlight the benefits of this. We have a community center. We need programming. We need activities. This is a great activity right next to the community center, right next to the schools. This is a sport that almost anyone can play. I mean, I suppose there's probably some people who might have difficulty throwing a Frisbee, but my one-year-old can play. A lot of people with a lot of difficulties can get out there and throw a Frisbee. You don't have to be a professional to do this. You can be any age. The only investment is installing the 8 pins, and I've got pictures of them on the handout. It's optional whether you have a little cement pad, which is like the tee-off area for each pin. It's also optional whether you install a sign next to each pin describing the distance to the pin, showing any obstacles, and that's also a place where perhaps privately we could sponsor some signage and to get this all paid for. We just need support from the city to allow us to do this whenever this comes up. So what this solves is it gets our community out into the park. And the design that we've proposed, which we're obviously open to suggestions on, it's on our page, puts the holes not in the areas that are being utilized for other purposes. They're in the underutilized areas around the park, especially on the south part of the park, to get foot traffic through that area that will make it less desirable for vagrancy and loitering in that area, because there's going to be people doing activities walking through there on a regular basis. Also, in case anyone is interested, there is a potential for revenue for the City of Phoenix by selling discs at the pro shop that already exists nearby. There's a lot of other creative ways. You could have tournaments there. The Levine Barbecue could have an event as part of the thing. Bottom line is we want to get this idea out there. We want support for it. We have a Facebook page. We already got some 263 signatures for a petition. And we've got the information if you'd like more information, but I probably exceeded my time. Jason and I were working together. Did you have anything else?
No, just real quick, if anyone else wants, we have plenty of copies of this. Gives an overview of what disc golf is. It's Frisbee. And you guys can look at that, the proposed course, some of the costs, everything like that. To give you an idea, we have 31 courses of disc golf here in Phoenix, in the whole metro area. But the closest one to Levine is about 30 minutes away. So that's one of the main reasons that we're pushing for this. Often people will go play after work. It's something quick, and if you're going to drive 30 to 45 minutes or go down baseline at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you probably will not go play. So it would be a huge thing to add, like you said. The underutilized areas of Cesar Chavez Park is one of the big pros to this. And also, disc golf has made it on SportsCenter Top 10, so that gives it a little bit of credibility. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
George Garcia, followed by Tony Verostegui.
Hello, my name is George Garcia. I'm executive director of a nonprofit called Southwest Institute for Families and Children. We work with people with disabilities and their families. I'm also a Levine resident, been here for about 10 years, 20 years, sorry, and been born and raised in Arizona. I love Phoenix. I've been to a lot of other cities around this country, and this is home, and I love the way it is growing, and we are growing fast. But I want you to make sure that people with disabilities are not forgotten. We have an opportunity, especially in Levine as we grow, to make sure our community is accessible and inclusive for everybody. But some of the things that I'd like to focus on would be the increase of programs for young adults with disabilities, especially as we develop our community centers, as our schools continue to grow. We want to make sure that there are programs that include everybody, because inclusivity is what really helps people with disabilities really grow and become members of our society. I want you to make sure that you increase public transportation, whether that's bus or rapid transit or light rail, because for a lot of people with disabilities, public transportation is the only way to get around. And so as our community grows, we want to make sure that we're able to get around, not just in Metro Phoenix, but even in areas in Levine. Employment. People with disabilities are woefully underemployed or unemployed. But if we can create programs that increase employment, you increase all sorts of other aspects of their lives, including increase in their health and social well-being. And then I also would like to say that as we grow in this community, that make sure that we think of everybody and within our residents. So increasing the use of accessible, affordable housing is important, because people with disabilities are being left out of being able to live in the community. We talk about inclusive communities, but it's not inclusive when you can't afford the rent. Or it's not inclusive when you can't get in the front door. So it's important that we take all these into considerations as we grow as a city. Thank you.
Tony Verostegui, followed by Lancy Martin. Is it Lanny or Lancy? Lanny? Or Danny? Larry? Tony? Where's Tony? I know. Waiting. Tony, followed by Mr. Martin.
Hello, my name is Tony Verostegui. I'm from Levine. Been here for a while. Love it. If you hear the cowbell, it goes back to the roots of Levine. With their cows and their dairies, they're still here. Love this town. I'm a cub master. I'm involved in the community, so I'm all about the quality of life. I'm big on families, big on kids. Thank you to the council persons and the city manager for coming here, especially to the city folks. Thank you for your time. Big shout out to the neighborhood services department. You guys are awesome. Big shout out to the parks. You guys are great. Thank you very, very much for everything you do. Big shout out. My big thing right now is I'm looking to make sure that, first of all, the budget's great. Thank you very much. Budget looks fantastic, especially that park ranger for that beautiful Cesar Chavez Park. We needed that. Thank you very much. It also helped because we got a big problem with street racing. So I'm hoping that we can do something to curb the street racing. What can we do to help the police out? You guys are doing awesome on recruiting. You guys are doing awesome on supporting the police. Maybe a substation out here. We got a big street racing problem in Levine. Please look into that. One thing I want to make sure is as Levine grows, right now I feel like it's a little reactive. I want you guys to be proactive. As the 6th most populous city in the United States, you guys got to act like it. Get on it. Make sure you're ready for it as Levine grows. It's coming. I'm a little bit nervous because we've got a freeway being built and it's bringing all this infrastructure. Heck, we're all eating popcorn from Harkins. Harkins is bringing something top-notch here because they know the value of it. Keep in mind, too, I'm a little bit nervous. We had Real Salada Broadway project, 7 miles. They broke ground in 2014. I think they picked up a cone yesterday. That was $55 million from the federal money brought into that. If it takes you 6 years to work on 7 miles of road, you know, talk to ADOT because they got 22 miles of freeway coming in. So my point is, I love what you guys are doing, but be smart about it and be proactive about it and keep Levine in mind. Thank you.
Mr. Martin, followed by Dan Penton.
Good evening. My name is Larry Martin. I'm president of Pueblo Grande Museum Auxiliary. What we do there is we educate your children. That's what it boils down to. A museum is an educational outfit. Thank you, the City of Phoenix, for supporting the museum. It has been there since 1929. How many people in this room know where Pueblo Grande Museum is? Oh, we got about a half a dozen. I get a question every single day telling me that nobody knows where Pueblo Grande Museum is. The ruins have been there for 1,000 years. The museum has been there since 1929. Pueblo Grande Museum Auxiliary has been there for the last 42 years. Every so often it becomes necessary to do some work on that place. We are asking the City of Phoenix to consider us in the future. Culture brings business to a city, it brings tourism to the city, and culture, a cultural experience for your children educates them. Here at Pueblo Grande Museum, it is a very important cultural asset. Everybody benefits. In the downturn 10 years ago, the museum lost 40% of its staff. That staff has never been replaced. Last year, we almost lost our roof. Luckily, by some emergency financing from the city, we got the roof replaced. The building has not been renovated or modified since the 1980s. If you did no maintenance to your house in 20 years, you probably wouldn't be able to turn your lights on. You have to do maintenance on these structures. The auxiliary, 100% of the funds we bring in goes back to the museum. All we're asking is the city to take a look at adding enough funds to bring the staff up a little bit to the museum. Thank you very much for your attention.
Mr. Dan Penton, followed by Tim Gamage.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me? Hi, my name is Daniel Penton, and I'm a Levine resident. I want to say thank you to the councilwoman and councilmen for all the work you've done getting the community center here, for the new dedicated ambulance that we're going to have at Station 58 on Levine, at the Levine Fire Department, and for the improvements they're putting in at 39th Avenue and Southern. That is going a long way towards making this community even better than it already is. I want to touch on a couple of things. First, Levine is long known as a rural community, and many residents feel that our that rural character, that agricultural heritage, is at risk by the coming development. The land use plans and all that stuff that have been put in place seem to be disregarded when new developments come, because we're constantly seeing there's a constant fight about trying to get them to conform to what what we want the village to look like. There's no continuity in the streets and along the streetscapes. That's a huge, to me, that's curb appeal is what makes contributes to the livability of a community, the desirability for you to want to live there. That said, Dobbins Road was designated as a scenic roadway from Central Avenue to 67th Avenue, and it's largely undeveloped, and again, it's at risk for losing a lot of its losing that the scenic views to the mountains and all that. In addition to that, there's from 27th Avenue to at least 51st Avenue, there's 9 historically designated properties that have been indicated as eligible for listing on the National Register of Historic Places, and there's no protection. There's no protection in place, like through zoning overlays or anything, to preserve those. It'd be my proposal that in this year's budget for the there's a line item for historic preservation that we revisit the historic property index for Laveen to index the properties that are remaining, and then initiate a historic streetscape plan to restore Dobbins to the way it used to be, tree-lined streets. Also, I gave a copy to Councilman and Councilwoman of the Central Laveen Commercial District Pedestrian Mall project. This was a project that was commissioned that the Arizona Maricopa Association of AZMAG provided funding to the city for this project, and basically the key objectives of it are to preserve the view corridors to the bordering mountains, establish a link between to Laveen's agricultural heritage, and to provide a pedestrian facility to connect the commercial core, village core, with the Laveen Town Center, which would be the village core. The project would include a landscape pedestrian mall with an interactive water course running the length of the mall, which would basically traverse would start at 59th Avenue in Dobbins, and it would traverse that in a southwest, northeast, northwest direction to 57th Avenue. It would also provide a view corridor for South Mountain, Carver Foothills, and the Estrella Mountains located to the south. And it would also reflect the agricultural heritage of Laveen and its historical canal system. There was an educational component that was proposed that would reflect the agricultural history of Laveen, and also the Salt River Canal project. Okay. So I propose that that's something that we revisit with through appropriate planning, and so I know my time's up, so I'll there. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dan. Tim Gamage, followed by Lisa Salinas.
Hello, my name's Tim Gamage. I am a Phoenix firefighter for just under 12 years, and I've lived in South Phoenix most of my life. Recently moved out here to Laveen. A common thread that everybody has talked about up here is Laveen is growing greatly. First off, I want to say actually thank you to Councilwoman Mendoza for her help getting that rescue at Station 58. To continue on that point, this town is growing. There's houses getting put up every day, and somebody said it earlier, we need to be proactive instead of reactive. The rescue was a great start, but we're gonna need some more fire stations out here as soon as possible. I'm sure PD needs more units out here. Clearly, we need more help for the youth in this area. So I just want to make sure that we're being proactive, planning, and preparing for the growth that's coming. Because I got 4 kids, 1 on the way, and a wife. It's my job to protect them, and I need you guys' help to do that. So thank you.
Lisa Salinas, followed by Christine Dickin.
All righty. Hello, my name is Lisa, and I have 2 concerns I would like to address. I love my neighborhood, and I belong to Blightbusters, a City of Phoenix volunteer program. I will do everything I can to maintain our neighborhood. Since April of last year, I have only picked up 86 illegal signs. Compared to the previous year, I have picked up 1,200. So thank you very much to Neighborhood Services and Graffiti Busters for doing a great job. Is there any way to inform the customer service operators that illegal signs are different than political signs? The divorce, $200, bankruptcy, $200, my casa, your casa for sale. We kill bed bugs. I don't want these things in my neighborhood. I called today on my way home about all 4 corners on 19th Avenue and Baseline, also all 4 corners on 7th Avenue and Dobbins. I was told it is political season and no signs would be picked up until July. I almost had a fit. So I've talked to a few inspectors in the past. They said that any sign hanging on any signal light, stop sign, actually any city sign at all, is a visual obstruction. Is this correct? They're not, they can be removed immediately, correct? 48 hours? Are you coming up here? Okay, then I'll do my next one. Okay, soap dispensers is my next thing. Oh, Lordy, hold on. My next issue is soap dispenser. It has been 1 year since the last budget meeting, and we have 5 more parks that have soap dispensers in. We still have 13 parks on this side of the mountain that need soap dispensers. Why is it so difficult to get soap dispensers on this side? Ahwatukee has had them for 26 years now. We have had our first 2 parks just 3 years ago with soap dispensers, 5 additional parks just a year ago. Soap dispensers were installed at Hayden Park, also known as Heroin Park, because of the heavy drug use, and they have not been destroyed or vandalized. The reason I tell you this story is if Hayden Park can handle soap dispensers without issues, our remaining 13 parks can. Soap is not a luxury. It is a necessity. The need for soap should not even be open for discussion. Thank you.
Kristen Dicken, followed by Isabel Diaz Garcia.
Good evening, Councilman, Councilwoman, City Manager, and members of the community that cared enough to come out tonight. There are a lot of good requests that have come up here tonight, a lot of great issues, and it must be tough to make decisions, and I respect that. And I also congratulate you on a balanced budget and a surplus. That's really great. So I represent the Friends of the Library as well. My name is Christine Dicken. And Linda did a great job of saying what we're all about, raising money, funding programs. But when I was preparing to speak tonight, I thought, I wonder if we're asking too much to ask for every library every day. And I thought, well, let me see what other big cities do. And you know, Tony and a few other people have brought up how much we've grown. Well, when I looked, the research I did, we're 5th. We're 5th largest behind New York City, LA, Chicago, and Houston. So then when I got those cities, I checked and said, okay, let me look at your library services. What are you doing in those big cities? And every single one of those big cities have their libraries open every day, extended hours, except for LA, and they have more than 30 branches, and a few of them, some of them, aren't open every day. They're closed on Sundays. But here we are, 5th largest city in the United States, and we have libraries that are closed more than 1 day a week, and our Cesar Chavez library that I'm particularly attached to is closed every Friday. And I'm saying, yes, we grew, and we grew fast, but you know what? We know how important our libraries are, and I would stress, it's great that you're opening the libraries on Sundays, but somehow, even with all the wonderful requests you're getting, I would ask that your libraries be open every single day because people miss those library days. Yeah? Thank you. And you know, and you can say, oh, how do you know people love the Levine Library? And I can tell you examples. We sell books at the barbecue, and we have had almost every single person that worked the cashier box say that somebody came up and gave money, and when we went to give them their change, they went, no, keep it. We know what you do. We know what the library is. You know, and my biggest tip was $17.25 for a $2.75 purchase. So, you know, people, thank you. People value their library, and I think we need to keep up with those other cities. I think we need every library every day, and thank you for everything. And I know there's so many difficult decisions to make about the budget, but I think this one is one where we could catch up with those other cities and do ourselves proud. On the way over here, I rode with another friend of the library, and we were talking about this. And in closing, I want to say, she said, and I'm quoting her, "We are a big city. Let's start acting like one." Thank you.
Isabel Diaz Garcia, followed by Lauren Sercone. Sarai.
Thank you, Isabel. Sorry, we had to leave because we have school tomorrow. So, good evening. My name is Sarai, and I'm a high school student, and I also come from a low-income family. The Office of Arts and Culture's funding has been cut from $8 million to $4 million in this proposed budget. I was informed that the $4 million that's being cut was because it was a one-time expense, so that $4 million for the arts was used for like the maintenance. But I'm asking that funding stays the same because there is a $55 million surplus in this budget, so we can afford it. Those $4 million could be used to make art programs for youth free. A photography class that I wanted to take not that long ago would have cost me $150, and that's something that I can't afford, and I know that most of my community can't afford. My 60-year-old sister tells me that she wants to be an art teacher when she grows up, and I know she's young and that her dreams may change, but as an older sister and an art lover and artist, I want to be able to make her dreams come true. I would like to pay to put her in an art program where she can develop skills and grow. We need investment in our community and in our youth. We need to invest in the dreams of our young ones because they are the future.
Hi, my name is Jasmine. I'm a senior at North High School. I'm here today to ask for larger investment in youth programs and for more resources for homeless people. So I've talked about more youth investment multiple times at other budget hearings. So I'm going to focus today on the portion of the budget addressed to neighborhood cleanup. There's nearly $400,000 set aside to target people finding refuge. The neighborhood cleanup isn't about cleaning up our parks or our streets and making them cleaner. It's about tearing apart homeless encampments and ticketing them for having nowhere to stay. A year or two ago, I worked on a school project and interviewed some homeless people. So I heard these people's stories, and I learned that a lot of them were living in the streets because of causes that were out of their control. Like, no one wants to be living like that. If there were more resources readily available to them, instead of just kicking them out to another city or to like another neighborhood, then this wouldn't be an issue to begin with. The city should invest in its communities, not in criminalizing those who live in it. Thank you.
Lauren Sercone, followed by Fortino.
First, go libraries. Go get them. Go libraries. Council members, Mr. City Manager, thank you for the work on the budget. It looks great, and we're psyched about the surplus. And I'm going to talk on a subject that a couple of people have mentioned already, and that is the undeveloped city parks that pockmark Levine and South Mountain. This is a subject that came up a couple of months ago, as you recall, when we were here doing the ideation for the new rec center. And things got very heated because this is essentially city-owned blight in our community across districts 7 and 8. And anytime that because I live right across from one, that when I have called Councilwoman Mendoza's previous, it was actually Kate Gallego, and basically we got the brush off, oh, there's no money. We're getting really tired of hearing that, and that's supposed to end the conversation. That should be the beginning of the conversation of how do we go get it. We've got trash-strewn, wind-swept, desolate parcels that basically the snakes, the coyotes, and kids on dirt bikes are using. Oh, and the illegal dumpers. If you got a mattress, it ends up there. We're getting into year after year, and now it's becoming decade after decade of these things sitting out there as we continue to grow. And everyone said Levine is burgeoning. We have amenities that the city has essentially promised. It's on the map. It gets sold to us. When I bought my house, I was, oh, there's going to be a park right across the street, and everyone's all excited. And year after year, my husband goes out and cuts the weed. We call it the weed farm. You all know what I'm talking about. So the conversation should not end with, oh, we don't have money for maintenance. When I see $750,000 being spent on yet another metal sculpture for Roosevelt Row, and Phoenix does great public art and sculpture, but how many of them do we need? That was 6 years of maintenance for a neighborhood park that we blew to impress the tourists from Kansas. And now Melrose wants one. Melrose District wants one. I'm talking about an area of the city that brings self-absorption to new heights. Melrose wants one because their neighborhood doesn't have enough attention put on it. You know, I mean, I'm teasing Melrose. I love Melrose. I go up in there. But let's start letting the stuff trickle down here to South Mountain. We'd like to see, and I see on page 129 of the budget, $3 million a year for council and citizen requests. So that looks like discretionary money for me. Can we get some of that spent on the parks? We'd like to see a solution on this and not have it the can kicked down the road year after year, and now it's coming to decade after decade. Thank you.
Fortino, followed by Blanca Abarca. Fortino? No? Fortino? Okay. Blanca Abarca, followed by Melissa Guapaya.
Okay. Good afternoon. I'm a resident of South Phoenix, and as a member of the community, I'm worried in many things that are happening. One of the things is that I believe there should be obviously more communication and information for all. When there's information and the information arrives to all, the communities, they become more fortified because they're on top of everything that's happening. And especially of what is going on or what our representatives are doing. My attention came to the calendar that is here. We didn't know anything about it. I barely was informed as of yesterday. What's going on? I was able to review it with several of my neighbors, and they didn't know anything about it. So it is something important that we all know about these budget meetings that are happening or going on. There is a date here, the 4th of April. That was in Alta Vista, but it was at 8 in the morning. At 8 in the morning, a lot of people are preparing to go to work. So then it is very important that they maintain or that keep us updated with these very important issues for our community. Thank you.
Melissa Wapaya, followed by Valentina or Valentin Suarez.
Good evening, Councilman, Councilwoman, City Manager. Thank you for your time. I'm here representing the Friends of Phoenix Public Art, a nonprofit organization. Public art has had a large impact in my life growing up, and you might have heard earlier, the youth arts education needs more focus and more funding there. But every day I see the kind of connection, creativity, and excitement that public art can inspire within a community. And it can also be a catalyst for those who visit our city. Phoenix has a fantastic public art program thanks to its willingness to contribute 1% of capital project costs to public art and to its innovative spirit in incorporating art into design. I think that we can be an innovative city and we can also be an artistic city as we continue growing. I believe that public art is a thread that connects us all and should be cherished. Public art, like any capital project, needs to be maintained or this investment in our community could be wasted. Earlier it was mentioned about infrastructure, that if you own a home, you don't do maintenance, you're not gonna have a lot of working home when in 20 years. But the same thing goes if you own a car, and if you don't do maintenance on your car, it won't work. Same goes for public art. If we don't maintain our public art, it can't be cherished by generations moving forward. Without enough annual maintenance dedicated to public art pieces in our city can continue to deteriorate. I want to say thank you. For the past several years, the city has included in its budget increases in the maintenance for public art. And Friends of Phoenix Public Art have also raised funds privately to support this endeavor. In addition to the other priorities supported by the Phoenix Arts and Culture Commission, the city should continue to build on this maintenance budget by increasing the public art maintenance budget. Thank you again for your time.
Valentin Suarez. Okay, thank you. Dan Clocky, followed by Sue Marcus.
Good evening, Councilman, Councilwoman Mendoza, and City Manager Zerker. Two things. First, as a member of the Historic Preservation Commission, I want to say thank you for the funding in this year's budget. There's a lot of historical things, a lot of culture and so forth in this community as well as around the city, and so I appreciate the support for those efforts. Second, and what I really want to talk about tonight is, you've heard it mentioned many times at all of these meetings, the issues of homelessness. We know it's a significant issue. It impacts communities throughout the city. The last point in time count, which is an annual count that happened in 2018, there were 6,300 people who were homeless throughout the county, with the vast majority of those being in the city of Phoenix. And the initial numbers that seem to be coming out indicate that that number is continuing to climb. There are many reasons that folks fall into homelessness, whether it's mental health issues, addiction issues. There's also some other issues. One of those is domestic violence, where often women and their children need to flee a home. The other thing is that a lot of people actually come to the city for opportunity, and things go sideways and they find themselves on the street. However, these folks actually have family and friends in other cities around the country that are willing to house them. A simple program that already exists with organizations like St. Vincent de Paul and CAS, who you heard from earlier tonight, is something called family reunification. It's a process that connects or reconnects people who are homeless with family and friends in another city. And organizations like St. Vincent de Paul make contact with these folks in order to ensure there's a safe passage and truly a home to stay in on the other end. So all they have to do is simply buy a ticket and maybe package up some food and clothing to get them to shelter. The cost for this is about $200 to $300 per person. This is infinitely cheaper than social services, housing, all the costs for police, for parks, all those things that you know are going to be a part of the cost for folks who are on the street. And it's estimated that of that 6,300, almost 15 to 20% could probably benefit from a program like this. Now, the city of Phoenix, for those of you who aren't familiar with this, probably do more than all the other cities combined in Maricopa County, and maybe even more than what the county and the state does on top of that. But we're dramatically impacted by it. That's just the nature of things. So I'm asking that the city put forth $500,000 towards a program like this, which I know is a substantial amount of money. One, it's a compassionate thing to do. Two, it quickly helps with a group of people that then, once they're served, there are more resources that go for those folks who are chronically homeless and are pretty costly. And third, economically, just pure economics, it made sense to do something like this. So I'd ask that you consider this and help our city. Thank you.
Michael Ingram, followed by Stephen Baines.
My name is Michael. I live in South Phoenix. I want to talk about funding for the youth. Before that, I want to acknowledge those folks who came and talked about special needs. That's something I did not think of, and I think that's something that needs to be brought to the forefront, should be lifted up. Youth funding should definitely include accessible to all youth, regardless of ability, and that's something on my bad, so I think you guys did a fantastic job. South Phoenix is home of some of the worst statistics you can find in the nation. We have some of the highest recidivism rates, highest levels of asthma, among awful things that we cannot forget. We've gotten here because how the city has historically treated South Phoenix as a segregated community for black and brown folks to just be treated as trash. We have high asthma rates because that's where the city has done to do large of its construction. We've done in our rock building all the things that hurt people's souls, hurt people's lungs. The city's time to reinvest in that. It is now the time for the city to make good on all those promises. You want to reduce recidivism, fund the programs that youth need. They have to grow up doing something. We want to improve our education system. We need to invest more money. When I mean more money, I mean more than other parts of the city, because you've been taking from this community for so very long that you have to give something back. This part of the South Phoenix has been home to some of these statistics, and this is not an accident, this is not a coincidence. These have been created situations that have been manufactured due to city leadership, some those here and some not. Regardless, it's now your responsibility to fix that. With the population boom, there's now been more attention, but that attention is still too late. We need to fund more youth services. We don't need more police on here harassing these same kids who are going to grow up and be arrested and thrown in prison. Most of Arizona's prison population comes from Arizona. 85041 is one of the worst zip codes to live in the nation, and that is here in this city. How are we going to fix it? We must invest in our community. Police are not going to fix the problems of youth not having decent jobs. Police are not going to fix the problem of youth not having programs to attend after school. So let's invest in our youth, invest in their art, invest in their activities so we can give them a future that we keep telling them that they can earn, we keep telling them that they can achieve, but we don't ever give them the tools to achieve that. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Stephen Baines, and I'm the founder of a nonprofit called Fulfillment and Training. We run it out of South Mountain High School as of now. What it is a community development and wellness program to work to bridge the gap between PD and community. We realize to have a holistic, healthy community, we have to have everyone working together to do so. And as of now, because of working with the high school, we only have 3 days a week, but we average about 50 to 60 individuals 3 times a week working out together, doing community activities as far as Feed My Starving Children. We do community cleanups. We go talk to the homeless. And we're working with the police and probation and other individuals with the community to continue to do so. So asking for opportunity for funding or resources to provide it to support that. But until we function as a whole community, working together with public service and our communities, we're not going to just continue, it's not going to just help and fix itself. So it's the goal of creating a platform and an opportunity for everyone to do those things together, and that's what fulfillment and training is. And coming here today is to provide an avenue for individuals to hear about it, and also opportunities for funding in the future. Thank you.
Victoria Thompson, followed by Isabel Diaz-Garcia.
Hello, so my name is Victoria Thompson, and so I'm gonna make it quick. I think just as a community, we count a lot of individuals out as far as the special needs children, and that's one thing I would like to see more funding going towards programs. Also like the youth that he mentioned, and another gentleman he had mentioned as far as like the individuals that the young youth getting in trouble and individually in the pipeline of the criminal justice system. And for me, I think it's important that we touch on it when they're young instead of waiting till they're adults and trying to fix the issue. So I just ask that when you look at budgets, you look at funding for special needs and you look at funding for the youth for different after-school programs. And so that's it. Thank you, and thank you for your time.
Isabel Diaz-Garcia, followed by Daisy Cáceres.
Hi, everyone. My name's Isabel. I'm from South Phoenix. I was born and raised here. I've been here all my life. Most of my family is here in South Phoenix, and I don't plan to leave, so I have roots in this community, and I love this community. However, one thing that I have noticed and that my family and friends notice is that every day we see so many police officers patrolling our streets. And has been mentioned before today from other friends of mine who live here that the police in South Phoenix only bring violence and intimidation to our families here. And they don't actually really solve any of the problems that we are facing. The police department here in Phoenix is the deadliest in the country. Last year, they led the country in officer-involved shootings. They shot 44 people last year, and they killed 25. So the additional $2.5 million from the general fund taxpayer money that is being given to the police department is unacceptable, while there are communities here on the south side that don't even have their basic necessities met. For instance, there are so many streets here on the south side that need speed bumps. People drive way too fast, especially in neighborhoods. There are a lot of really big, busy intersections that are not safe. My sister, she graduated from Cesar Chavez, and I remember her coming home from school many times throughout the year, super frustrated and scared because the crosswalk on 19th Avenue and Baseline is so dangerous to cross, especially at the time when students get out, when it's super heavy in traffic, and it's just not a safe crosswalk. There are a lot of streets that don't even have sidewalks or crosswalks. There are a lot of busted street lamps and potholes, and we know that police don't solve those problems. They don't fix potholes, they don't install sidewalks, they don't provide health care, they don't solve poverty. So we need to invest in programs and people that are actually going to make us safe, that are actually going to make us healthy and help us thrive. So we demand a freeze on any more taxpayer money to the police until our communities are equitably funded. One last thing I want to say real quick that I want to echo Blanca, who spoke earlier. A lot of folks did not know about this hearing. It's so great that we got a really cool turnout here today, but that wasn't the case across the city, and a lot of folks are quite upset that they couldn't make it tonight just because they didn't know about it. So I hope that next year this process changes, that you actually speak to community and you provide more opportunities for community to provide their input before you start drafting the budget, so that community voice is actually centered in how money gets allocated here. Thank you.
Thank you. Daisy Cáceres, followed by Stephanie Hurd. Daisy? Okay. Stephanie Hurd, followed by Angela Strong.
Oh, I forgot my notes. Just a minute. I feel like a broken record. I think the last 10 years I've been saying the same darn thing. So, you know. Thanks for coming, everybody. Please fill out the cards. Even if you don't want to speak, fill the card out. It means something, doesn't it? Thank you, Councilwoman, Councilman, and Ed. You guys are awesome. I love all of you. Thank you. And it's great that you guys live here. Ed, you need to move. Christine, thank you for, I know I'm going off track, but Christine's leaving the community. She's been here for so long. We got to throw a party for her. So, yeah, the first thing that I wanted to ask about is the impact fees. I hear about them all the time. I'm confused. I think there are like 3 different divisions. You can use it for this, you can use it for that. I have no idea, but we should use some impact fees for things in Laveen because we're going to be generating a lot and we need a lot of things to happen. Parks. I know there's somebody else spoke about the parkland that's undeveloped. We have a lot of it in Laveen, and apparently, yes, thank you. It's funded, is what I hear. It's funded to build something there, but we don't have the money to maintain it. Or staff it, I'm not sure. What does that mean, but how do we make that happen? I mean, that's horrible. We've got the money, but we can't do anything. So let's use that, and let's make that happen. We do have the budget for the community center, as you guys know. Of course, it's never enough. So we're going to want some enhancements. We're thinking about, thinking about expanding, and so we're going to need more money for that. One of the things is a substation. I asked Officer Locker about it about a year ago. Well, actually, I asked him about a month ago about it, and he said they can't staff it if we build a substation in Laveen. So that's what we're going to look at doing in the future, but we need police to be able to staff it. I wanted to bring up the street racing too. We know in Cesar Chavez Park, every Sunday night, a bunch of us were calling 911, and it was bad. The first time I was there, I almost got hit, and there were kids around. It was horrible. So luckily, they're closing the gates now. Thank you, guys. Yeah. Dobbins Scenic Route, I've been talking about that forever too, and nobody cares. I've gone to streets, I don't know how many times. Streets, I can't find somebody that's actually like, oh yeah, let's take a look at that. Our village planner has one in Laveen. I've been through it, I've tried to get copies of it. They were gonna make copies, I still haven't gotten it, but it's so cool. And if we wanna preserve what Laveen is, what better way than to have a multi-purpose trail there? We have horses this morning. There was a horse, and the road on Dobbins is horrible, horrible. And I thought, man, I went in the opposite lane just to give the horse more space. That's what we are out here, and let's preserve it. That's super cool. So please keep your ears open for the Dobbins Scenic Route. We need to push for that. I know there's issues with flooding, but we can make all of it happen. We can do it. You guys are super creative, and I know you're excited, and I will leave now, but thank you.
Just, Stephanie, just one thing. You asked about impact fees.
Yeah.
It is complicated, and probably it'd be a good topic for your village planning committee because the planning department really monitors that. But I will tell you that one of the things in this budget is funded from impact fees paid for by Laveen, which is the actual ambulance that's going to go into Station 58. Right. We were able to use the impact fees collected for fire service so that that ambulance could be bought so we could put people in there. So
Well, that's
one
perfect.
example of how impact fees can help.
Sure.
But they're very restricted by the state legislation, but it'd be a good village planning committee
Well, and we
topic.
heard possibly like you could possibly fund the senior center part of a community center for that. I mean, that's something we want to know too.
You can, but that there's a restriction on how big the center can be that you can fund
Oh.
by square feet. So that's why I say we probably should have the planning department come and explain it, because it's pretty technical based on state law.
Okay, and thank you, Felicita, for having a medical emergency so we could get that ambulance. So hey, good things happen. Thank you.
And Angela Strong, followed by Imogen Arate.
Hello, everyone. I'm Angela Strong. I have twin daughters that actually attend here. They're in the SPED department. I'm asking for more funding for them so they can have more opportunities to do more. They're going to be graduating next year, so it'd be nice if, we have that extra money for, let's say, special training for our officers. One of them can speak. The other one cannot. So when she's frustrated, you may see her wailing around, but to anyone else, it may look like, oh, this person is a danger to society, which she isn't. So we need to think about how it affects them. Like this crowd right here would be way too overwhelming for them. That's why I had to leave them at home. And I was like, looking at the time, like, oh my God, I gotta hurry up because it's time to give meds. But I just want you guys, when you think about your decisions, for the funding for our daughters, our sons of the special needs community. Thank you.
Imogen Arate. Is she here? No? Okay. Animus Strawn. Imogen.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak, Councilman Nowakowski, Councilwoman Mendoza, City Manager, thank you. Grateful to be here. As most of you know, I was one of the candidates for Phoenix City Council this past race. I didn't make it into the runoff, but I'm grateful that y'all dealt with me, tolerated me, received me, shared with me your concerns and what it is that the community needed and was lacking and was underserved with. So I took that message with force and I took it forward, and I hope some of the council folk really heard it and received it. I'm happy to know that the hospital, thank you Phil too for bringing me up to speed on that, will be built in the back here in Levine in some time, and I hope the city continues to look forward to putting concessions in its budget to try and make that happen sooner rather than later. I know the governor had since talked about getting a high school here in the district, District 8. In the Levine area, I think I met with the village planning commissioner at one point and asked to preserve some land in District 8 so you can have that high school for the growing population of the community. Continue to follow that with the governor and register for the right to speak in the event it's challenged so you can protect that decision in his budget. In addition, it's just an exciting time to be here in Levine and in District 8, and I encourage you to try and get the business community park somewhere up there in Rio Salado so you can bring jobs to the community, to have a growing community, and especially service the people that don't have the ability to transport out of the community for good paying jobs. I think that'll elevate the community and serve the community well at large. There's a lot of good stuff going on. I thank you for sharing the budget. One of the things that I'd like to speak to is the employee packet that's being renegotiated. And I hope the amount that you're putting in there for renegotiation goes to those employees that have been doing great and favorable work that reside in the boundaries of the City of Phoenix. So I hope, and you know, in my mind, what that would do is bring more retail, more property taxes, and tax dollars back into the coffers for the City of Phoenix to be able to operate as general fund and all the shortcomings that goes on in the budget. I don't know the proportion of city employees that reside outside the boundaries of the city of Phoenix. Hopefully that can be looked at and can be shared at some point in time to make sure those revenues continue to pour back into the city of Phoenix and not our neighboring competitors like Tempe, Mesa, Scottsdale, and Chandler and the likes. I've been given my 2-minute warning, so I'll take the time to say again, thank you. And truly, the question has been for me by a lot of people in the community, what's next? I'm still pondering through that and coming up with a plan, but currently I am going to assist Michael Johnson in his campaign. I've given that support to him. Verbally, you'll see more about that going forward. So those who supported me, voted for me, applauded me, gave me encouragement, please transfer that to Michael Johnson as he continued to pursue this office for councilman. He's experienced, trusted, proven leadership, former vice mayor 2 times, I think, for the city of Phoenix. And I know he'll come in and continue to hear your voice, hear your concern, and meet the needs of the people. And I think Mike is over there. I don't think he's going to get an opportunity to speak
It's been
tonight.
3 minutes already,
Oh,
actually
it's
4.
Oh, some others took much longer than that, but
thank you.
That's okay. I'll move along. But continue to support him. I love you all. Thank you, and you'll be seeing me around.
Patricia Gurule, followed by Lindsay Bateman. Patricia Gurule, followed by Lindsay Bateman. Thank you.
Good evening, council members, city staff. I'm Patricia Gurule, and I request appropriation of the Phoenix neighborhood budget funds to help bolster the memorialization and the creating of a district of the displaced barrios west of Sky Harbor Airport. Our initiative is the Father Albert Braun, OFM, Lieutenant Colonel, Veterans Memorial District. The barrios included are Golden Gate Barrio, Campito, Cuatro Milpas, Green Valley, San Juan Bautista, and schools like Wilson Elementary and Skiff schools, businesses, and veterans from the neighborhoods on the Salt River floodplains. I request that you prioritize appropriation funding for the creation and the development of a heritage form of honor adjacent to the historic Sacred Heart Church on 16th Street and Buckeye Road. The forum will act as an educational hub and illuminate and bolster the contributions of the good people of the barrios, of the displaced barrios west of Sky Harbor, and of the veterans and the contributions that they made to the greater Phoenix area and the state of Arizona. Thank you very much.
Lindsay Bateman, followed by Jasmine Marie Dominguez.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Bateman. It's a couple things that people have already talked about, but I bought my home here in 2005 and live across from one of those dirt lots that was supposed to be designated for a park. And now it's 14 years later, still don't have a park. And for me, it's the 47th Avenue and Alta Vista one, but I know that there's other ones in the area. And it seems to me that they all seem to be right near schools. And I think when I see these kids getting out of school and they're walking past these dirt lots, they don't have a lot of pride in their neighborhood. I just think it's really important that we develop those. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Jasmine Marie Dominguez.
Hi, as she had said, my name is Jasmine Marie Dominguez. I used to actually attend this school. I graduated at 17, and while I attended this school, I was a part and a big leader of a wonderful program that they have here called People Leadership. And Chavez has one of the best programs in the entire Phoenix High School District involving students and those with special needs. I'm here to ask for a lot of the, if not most, of the budgeting to go towards the rec center for special needs. Mainly because there isn't one. We do have parks, we do have sidewalks, we have soap, we have speed bumps, we have all these things, but there is no real place where people can take their children, their growing adults, their small babies that have these special needs, where the entire facility is dedicated towards their needs and their growth. And I think that would help not only educate our community, but also help the community that we have that is currently growing of special needs. Until I attended this school, I was not aware of how many students that needed that. And being a part of it has definitely opened my not only my eyes, but my heart towards those children. And it would just be a great way for the community to have, well, just that resource for them. And it's hard for parents to just get in and out of buildings alone, and to have an entire building and rec center dedicated for that, I think would help this community strive. Thank you.
Thank you. Wen Huang? No. Phil Hertel? Followed by Susan Sanborn.
Good evening. Thank you, city staff, for being here and putting this on. And I'm not going to ask you for any money. I don't want any money. I want to stop the waste. If we stopped wasting so much money, a lot of these programs, like our libraries, would have money. I'm going to talk specifically about landscaping on the beautiful new Broadway Road. That's a disaster. The Broadway Road project, as I recall, there was about $750,000 to do the landscaping on Broadway, but no money to maintain it. The trees have died, they're falling over, all the little plants have died, the sprinklers don't work. And so all of that money was wasted. And it's what needs to happen is we need to come through and take all the landscaping out, and there's decorative rock in there now, but you can't see it because the weeds are this high. The weeds are overgrowing the sidewalks, and I don't know how they're going to trim the weeds because of all the rock. If there was no landscaping there at all, they could trim that back and just spray it so nothing grew, and that would be the end of the story. The city would save lots of money. I see that there's $404,000 on this proposed budget for landscaping management, but none of it is for Broadway Road. And you know what? I'm fine with that. Let's just clean it up, get rid of the weeds, get rid of the dying plants, don't worry about the sprinklers, and just make it plain and simple. We save a lot of money, and that money can go other places. There's waste like that all over the city, and we need to focus on stopping the waste so we have money to fund the things that we want. Thank you very much.
Susan Sanborn. Susan?
Hi, I'm Susan Sanborn, and I'm on the Levine Elementary School Board. And I've been in this community for 15 years. And as we have built schools here, we have also designated areas for parks. And the schools are beautiful, the homes around them are beautiful, but our parks, we've been told for years, they don't have any money to maintain them, that there's money to build them because in selling the homes, there's funds sitting there waiting to build parks. I ask that we have a budget for those parks. We don't only just have 2 parks, we have 4 parks that are empty. 4 schools that are next to Blythe areas where people dump their mattresses and garbage and there's weeds. Nobody even maintains to go in and cut the weeds. And the school children all have to go past those. There are also 2 other areas that are only half maintained. On the map of Phoenix, all the blue areas are parks. The yellow area is Levine. We don't have parks. Cash School, down at the bottom, has a very small park. It's very nice, but there's a lot of area around it that also belongs to the park and rec. There is Trailside. They put in a park along the front. They don't maintain the back. It's full of chuck holes. Nobody can use it. Even if it was just smooth and flat, they could put in a baseball area, but it's a mess too. And so I want to see money put in. I've been bugging you for years. Every time I see them, I want parks. So I'm one more voice. And online, we have many, many voices that are talking about how bad it is. We want a beautiful community. I would like to see lots of trees, and the parks could do that. And so that's my 2 cents.
That's all the cards we have. Is there anybody we missed who thought they had a card in, they were here to speak, and we didn't call their name? Okay, well, we thank you. I'm going to hand it over to Councilman Nowakowski to say some closing remarks.
Well, first of all, thank you. It's kind of exciting. We start off with the new movie theater with first time we ever had popcorn and cowbells at a meeting, right? Given out. And then we sang happy birthday, and then we talked about some of the issues out here. You know, I started about 11 years ago, and there was a lot more issues than what we have today. So I just really want to thank you all for being the strong advocates for this community, making sure that we get all those amendments that everybody else has. But one of the things that we've been studying a lot, and our office has been working very, very hard, is on the whole parks issue that we have out here. We have a lot of empty parks, a lot of signs out there saying future park on it, and a lot of blighted areas that we're trying to keep up with. One of the problems that we've seen in the past is that instead of impact fees, we traded off parkland with some of these developers. So that was before my time. So then now we have to live with the sins of the past, but now we got to figure out how to make it good, right? So little by little, we're thinking and we're gathering together, and we're going to figure this thing out as a team. And I call it the Team Phoenix approach. If we need to go out and look for private monies and work as a team, then we're going to have to do that. Same thing happened with I represent Margaret Hans Park, and individuals came to me and they said, "Councilman, we need this much money for that park. We just don't have it." But they ended up creating their own group of individuals that are out there fundraising, and they're coming up with ideas of how to develop that park. So what we're going to do out here is we're going to have to figure it out. And I know that the Living Way is figuring things out. So we'll sit down, we'll have a meeting with some of our parks individuals and try to figure this problem out. The other thing is we're going to have a lot of growth out here. And we're talking about being the 5th largest city. I think we're going to be close to like the 4th largest city after everything's built out here in the Levine area, the southwest area, and the north part of our city. So saying that, yeah, we need to start to act like we're the 5th largest or the 4th largest city in the country. And that's one of the struggles that we have out here in the Levine area, because some people like it to be still how it was in the past. So, and then we have strong advocates for that. And then we have strong advocates that we need to be more progressive. So we have to feel that happy medium, right? So we have to sit down and we have to figure it out. So I agree, Dobbins Road is something that I'll personally sit down with Councilmember Mendoza and try to work that out and figure out where that plan is and what's happening with that, and get you those answers. And the rest of it with the issue with the homelessness, the historic preservation, youth programs, we've been pushing and pushing for this community center, but it's really was for our youth. And that's one of the reasons that we pushed so hard, because we were using our library as a community center. Now we're actually going to have a community center where it's going to relieve, hopefully, our library with all the different services that they provide. So now we're going to have our full-blown community center. And I never thought about the individuals with disability. And, you know, that's something that we really have to think outside the box with this center that we're going to build. How can it accomplish serving all youth and all families? And I just really want to thank those parents to come out. I know how hard it is to actually leave your children and to come to these types of meetings. So I just really want to thank you all. We heard you loud and clear, and we heard your heart speaking. So I'd like to thank you all for coming out and letting us know what your concerns are. And with public safety, we get mixed feelings with that, right? We have a lot of people saying that we don't have enough police officers securing our neighborhoods, that you don't see enough police cars out there, and then you have individuals that's saying that there's too many, right? So we need to really figure that out too. So we need to make sure that our public safety individuals are supplied with enough police officers to make sure that our neighborhoods are safe, and that when we call a police officer, that there's a police officer there, and if somebody's having an asthma attack, that we have an ambulance there to take care of you. So I just really want to thank Councilmember Mendoza for really pushing and leading that effort and getting that ambulance done for the Levine area. So with that, I'll pass it on to my colleague.
Thank you, everyone, for being here, for spending your evening with us. Thank you for your feedback. And one of the things that I'm very proud of is the fact that we bring the budget to the community for your feedback. And it's been done for the past 11 years or however many years, but I see a lot of changes in the budget once we hear from all of you. So thank you so much for your feedback.
Thank you. We have staff here who will be around for a little bit afterwards if you want to catch them individually. Otherwise, have a great evening. Thank you for being here.